So, in a moment, we begin, and let us formally open the following meeting of the International Youth Conference for Peace in the Future 2021, which is dedicated today, our meeting, to youth initiatives and outreach activities. There is a stereotype that a library is a place where you can only find books and silence. And now it may even seem that libraries are outdated. There are so many electronic books. However, our today's experts will show you that this is far from being right. Moreover, it is to the libraries that many most interesting events have moved, including youth events and peace-oriented events. So let me introduce our today's expert, Mr. Stan Berger, from Volgograd Regional Library for Young Adults. This library has become one of our city's most popular platforms for youth activities. What are his know-hows? Mr. Stan Berger will tell us.
Dear friends, hello. Well, Maria has already introduced me. I represent the Regional Library of Volgograd. My name is Stan Berger. Our library is a library of the new generation. And it is a place where a library of the new generation is, first of all, a place to have fun and explore one's creativity. One does not necessarily come there for books. Today, people who come to a library are the ones who value personal development, socialization, having a good time, and the new experience that only a library can give them, even psychologically. Because even the word library itself already has a long trail of associations behind it and gives off poetical vibes. The goal that we librarians see in front of us today is to combine education and leisure. By this, I mean that every guest at our events should, at the very least, have a good time and at the most learn something new, obtain a new skill. I have tried various methods and forms from quests to master classes. However, the main principle of a library-based education remained the same, making it easy and fun. By all means, I tried to avoid a manner too academic, an atmosphere too school-like. All education events must have something that puts them apart from university lectures, even if they are lectures too, or from school lessons. This education must, first of all, inspire a unique atmosphere and a desire to learn. That is the way how we show people that education can be different. You can study, not only using notebooks and pens. You can come, listen to lectures, and get pleasure from what you hear, from new things you hear. So now about practice. In 2019, we did an experiment and established an English-speaking club. Its gathering was dedicated to a peculiar topic: heroes of Marvel Cinematic Universe, myths of ancient Greece, a quest based on the Gravity Falls animated series. We even read Chekhov's works in the English translation and did various tasks. Our goal was not, of course, to master English completely. but to ensure the immersion into its atmosphere. We also wanted to demonstrate how much a new language can do to open your mind. English languages, it's not only grammar. English, a new language, it is films, poetry, literature. And you understand that languages, they are not boring, they are amazing. And my next point is that I'm sure popular culture is a bridge to obtaining some serious knowledge. How does it work? At our English-speaking club, we watched the Beowulf movie starring Angelina Jolie. And then from discussing the movie, we moved to discussing the Celtic and British legends and British history. This is a curious moment, and I believe it to be the future of education. Another example, during our Marvel-based meetings, we watched the Thor movie starring Chris Hemsworth, from which we again moved to Norse mythology and the history of Northern Europe. Also, we had a Lara Croft Day. The event was split into several parts, and there was a quest during which our guests needed to decipher the Mayan alphabet, dwell on the Egyptians' history, and even the basis of mummification. It was fine, but I'm sure that the knowledge stuck with our visitors. How it works, drawing upon the simple associations that we all have in mind, thanks to popular culture, a person moves on to something more complex. We all live in society, and our society is filled with pop culture. So we go to school, we go to university, so we begin to study, but we still listen to music, we watch cartoons, we watch movies, and that is our popular culture. As well as from computer games and comics. Many people underestimate popular culture. Again, movies, comic books, computer games, but they are wrong. Popular culture is based on the academic culture and uses simple imagery to show complicated concepts. In this manner, we can interest people in classical music, in global history, political science, mathematics, and whatever else. People can be inspired to learn policy, mathematics, other things, and science, and arts. This January, I started my project called Art Lab, dedicated to fine arts. It is split into two parts: theory-based videos that I record for our library's YouTube channel, and the second part is the real-life master classes. In my videos, I speak about the main art movements, classicism, modern, ancient Greek art, and the Renaissance. As for the master classes, we use them for drawing lessons under the tutorage of Volgograd artist Alexandra Maltseva. These master classes are open to everyone. It doesn't matter whether you can draw or had your last art lesson in elementary school. Art lessons rather resemble art therapy. We have already done neurographics, doodling, 3D painting, and many other things. So we have a theoretical part, which can be interesting to people who want to learn about history. And we have the practical part for those people who want to be entertained. A separate mention goes to our lectures. Last year, I did the project called The Horde of Damocles, dedicated to history through the prism of pop culture. I am the historian, well, according to my education. I have a university diploma in history, and investigating events of the past is what I find both interesting and entertaining. The main thing I wanted to get across to the listeners is that the past has a major influence on the present. That is our cultural language, not only culture itself and civilization, but also our habits, deeds, and the way we perceive the world around us. All of these are products of our past. In particular, in the ancient times when the mythological thinking and culture were only beginning. My lectures were titled, Why Do We Need Myths, Hinduism and Quantum Physics? Why do we need culture? There is nothing the author implied. And I spoke about how interpretation and stereotypes do harm to our perception. I did a lecture on tolerance, the reason we tolerate each other. There were also theatricalized lectures about the Russian 90s and the American 20s with fancy dress, live music, and many more things. Well, the American 20s dealt with the book of Fitzgerald, Great Gatsby. So, as I've already told, we had the fancy dress part. We quoted the book, and of course, we had live music, jazz, blues, and our second experiment was dedicated to the 90s in Russia. We analyzed cultural events of Russia through literature, through music. We also had people dressed in fancy dress, and everything was very interesting. I was surprised to see how popular the format turned out to be. I believe that our lectures were so popular because people themselves choose what to learn and what they want to know. School gives them some of this knowledge as well as college, but they do not say everything. For example, a person is interested in the history of 20s, but he's not ready to watch many films and to read many books about this time. Our lecturers is what can fill up the lections, explain what lies at the intersection of different subjects. For example, the way the Russian language is connected to the process going on in the society, or what the relation is between religion and quantum physics. When new words appear in a language, new meanings appear, it means that there were changes in the society. Maybe And the lecture of the free format, the lectures in the library, they can help you to fill up the lections. The main thing is to form this interest and the demand to study. On these lectures, the listeners learn something new and interesting. I would like to conclude with the following idea. Since ancient times, libraries have been the beacons of enlightenment and consequently of humanism, respect for the others, critical thinking, thus helping people in their communication and personal development. Fortunately, this main function of libraries remained the same through all these years. And that is the main thing. What changed is the means that we, librarians, use to achieve this end. So my part is over. If you have got any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Well, I'd like to specifically encourage you to ask questions to our following two experts, because this is what may help you to deal specifically with your future activities after the conference. And both me and Ms. Plotnikova are here to help with translation. Well, in that case, I guess we can automatically assume that the lecture was extremely precise and understandable to everyone, and that we can altogether thank our expert, Mr. Stenberger, for his contribution and participation in our today's meeting. So a round of applause to our expert. And I think it means that we can now move to the next part. Thank you, Stan. Спасибо вам. Спасибо
большое. Thank you for the opportunity to be the expert at the session.
And now, in order for us to continue, so let you guess what I prepared for today. Yes, it's another PowerPoint presentation that will help us with our future discussion questions. So while I'm still opening it, judging by the feedback from our previous meeting, I decided to use another microphone. And if it worked, you can now hear me a little bit better. So here we are at our next meeting. We just call it an outreach day, so to say. Let me just close everything. But today we're discussing how to take our events, our activities, and reach as many people as possible. For those of you who speak Russian, you can also subscribe to Stan. He has a YouTube channel where he calls himself Stan Bibliotekar. And for those of you who are with us today, let us probably switch to the discussion part. I have one philosophical question today. Hidden privileges. What are the things that we are now able to enjoy specifically because there is no war? This is what may help you with your communique. And the second question is a bit more practical. What life hacks given by the expert can be used in your preparation in the final flash mob? Try to formulate the rules of making your activities attractive to their participants. If the questions are understandable, I will now open discussion rooms. And as always, excuse me if in the first several moments you end up in the wrong one. Well, I hope that the discussion session has been well for you. And as usually, would like to invite all our teams to present their ideas and the results of their discussion. Where is my video? Okay. Should we begin maybe with team Peace Education Movers? Would you like to start with a philosophical question or with a practical one?
Are we talking? I think, yeah, this is our group, I think. Yes, we had, for the first question, the privileges we had since there's no war. We mentioned different points, but I think if we had to summarize, the first one would be just that we don't have to worry about basic needs. I think just resources like water and food, when war is happening, they're just more scarce. And I think that is like one of the like most important things that we take for granted. But then we also mentioned other points, like, for example, the chance of being able to travel around the world, because usually you're quite restricted in either working for the military or just escaping. And the third point that we had was that just most people, like during the war, had to be trained for the war, or just so most the resources and energy in a country would have been spent towards that war. So nowadays that this doesn't exist, I think there are so many more chances in education. If you have your own, you can choose yourself what to study. And I just think that is also something we sometimes take for granted. And for the second point, how we can use the life hacks for the flash mobs. So if I recall, the expert mentioned that they use specific documents, or like there was things like hieroglyphs and stuff that you could connect with how society works and just cultures. And we were thinking that we could maybe do either a seminar or webinar, like a seminar in any type of library. Then came up the concern that maybe it wouldn't be very how do I say, productive, or like, no, not productive, but the best idea during a pandemic. But then we had the idea with a webinar. I'm not sure we were really came to a concise conclusion. But some ideas that came up. And then I like, okay, we didn't mention that yet, but then also I had the idea, since like also our leader Adrian mentioned that we should maybe use our Instagram webs like a page to maybe promote the, or like, yeah, promote the flash mob. And then I was thinking we could do maybe an Insta live, but yeah, I think that's the summary of our discussion.
Thank you, Krista, for a summary and for telling us about what the group discussed. I believe these were some of very good ideas. What about team called Catalysts for Peace? Would you like to have the floor now? Of course you would.
Hi, yes. In answer to the first question, we thought the importance that we might lose were connections with society. So I think that's something that we don't see in daily lives, but we do see when it's lost, and it's one of the most important things in life. And other answers were basic aspects to life, like sleeping, eating, and so much more. And all of our teammates said something really poetic, which I really like. And it's the little things that you enjoy. For example, living youth, planning your future, celebrating birthdays, and gaining education. And I just thought that was so important, and we could miss that if we were in this like the war. In answer to this question, I thought I answered that wrong, but I'm just going to keep going. He said interest a lot of times, so I thought that might be a keyword. And I thought that to spread awareness around the world, we need to gain attention from young people, and it's important to interest them. And we can't be doing the same things, like the same things from the past again and again. It has to be something new, easy to do and catchy. And other teammates said things like, it shouldn't be difficult, it should be easy, it shouldn't be something complete. The project. After that, we started talking about our actual flash mob, which our original idea was to take pictures or videos of us with a message in our hands and ask other people to join in as well. And we had some new ideas, like post crossing with sister cities, and some other ideas added to our older idea. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. So that's our summary. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. It's very encouraging. I'm very glad to see that each new discussion adds some new ideas to your team's pool. Now let's continue with team number 2, Piece of Peace. What were your thoughts and conclusions?
Yes, hello everyone. So what's about the first question? It is, so in our second of our life, we are just dreaming about our future career, and we have big dreams, and we are thinking about our future kids and family. So we are don't thinking about how much food we need and war. So I think we must appreciate some such privileges like freedom, a peaceful life, and think like that. So.
And second question, we discussed about the experts says how to attract people to the library. So we specifically discuss about how to attract the people around the world. One of the idea is the posting some pictures with like paper crane, and do some hashtag, which is really attractive. And other people say is about making the video and attract people. So we didn't make a specific conclusion, but our new idea is to making the attractive videos. That is our answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Valeria and Hayato. Thank you for your ideas and for your discussions. And I agree, a hashtag is not only interesting, it's easy to follow. So that's why the internet runs on it. Now, what about team 4, Peace and Friendship? Would you like to speak now? Yes, please.
With the first question, what are the things you're enjoying just because there's no war? we think that there are so many things that we enjoy just because there's no war. And we all agree that freedom is one of the things we enjoy and take for granted every day. The freedom to speak, think, and act, and the freedom to travel, to go to school and talk to friends, and get education, and the freedom to live the way we want to live, and enjoy our life to its fullest extent. I think some of us might think that this is normal, but it isn't for countries at war. With the second question, what life hacks given by the expert can be used for the final flash mob? From what we have learned from Mr. Steinberger is that we should try to think of how participants of our activities can use what they have learned from the activity to teach others so that we can also reach many people. And one of the ideas that I got from my members is making online challenges in social medias like our platform, Instagram. I think that is a really easy way to reach people because there are so many people who use social media. That is all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. And I cannot agree more with your idea that each activity we organize teaches something new, not only to its participants, like whom we invite, but also to us, the organizers. That's true for this conference, for example, and our colleagues. And last but not the least, Team Great Mates. Can you take the floor now, please?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I am Ann Lopez, and I am from Team Great Mates. So this is the combination of our answers from our group discussion. For the first one, we have many privileges today due to the absence of war. We are enjoying and living the normal life that we should have. We have nothing to worry about safety and security, as well as sufficient food and shelter. We have the freedom to do our wants outside without even thinking of any danger that might happen to us. And since the war has been absent for a long time, we have had fewer human deaths. We can exchange education, technologies, other products, medicine, science, engineering concepts, and such programs like this conference with other countries. We have this in our minds that our sister countries will help us in times of needs, such as typhoons, earthquakes, storm surge, and pandemics. On the psychological side, we don't need to think about surviving and hiding from opponents. These privileges make people around the world sleep very well and worry less, not worry-free in their lives because war may be absent but crimes are still present. And for the second question, Wang?
Yeah, sure. We feel like the second question is really challenging. And during the presentation, I feel like that the library is not only a place for people to read books, but also a platform in which people can gather together and maybe like what he mentioned, the English speaking club, like reading literatures or something like that. So what pushes me to think about is Plato's Symposium. Like in the ancient Greek, people sitting around the round table and like discuss some of the philosophical things, which I think is a very like good activity and form. Like people can actually discuss some of the specific things. Like our presenter mentioned, like people reading English literature like Beowulf, and we can actually tackle some of the deeper issues behind peace and war, like wildlife protection or biodiversity conservation. So like the form of symposium pushes me like to relate it to the presentation today. So maybe I think like this will be a like another way for us to do the flash mob. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much for your contribution and for your reports. I enjoyed very much that you also touched upon the international aspect of the benefits that peace provides, like the ability to profit from the cooperation between countries. And also, I'm sure that Stenberger will be very glad to hear that his lecture has inspired you in a way. Now, since our program for today is almost over, I suggest that we speak a bit about our home task, both to you and me. Let us get back again to our presentation. Okay. So your team task will be to again contribute to your team's pages in social networks. The next grand event that we have in stock is the Concerts of National Cultures. So which is the event usually when the conference is held live, when we gather in a theater of a sort or a small concert hall, and each city presents a song, a dance, an excerpt from a theater play, or anything really to demonstrate the culture of this city or of its country in general. One memorable occasion was when participants from Chemnitz delivered a presentation on German humor with tons of jokes and anecdotes. So I will be looking forward to receive videos from you with maybe a few words to understand what these videos are about and why you chose them specifically. And as a warming up before this event, we suggest that you make a post on your social networks about the traditions or maybe national customs or maybe popular superstitions of your country, or maybe even your most favorite trademark food of your city or country. So this will be your only task until our next meeting, which will happen on August 11. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to take the floor, because now our agenda for the day is officially over. That was brief today, but Monday is said to be a difficult day. So let's head into the new week in a good mood. So if no questions or comments, then I suggest we're ready to say goodbye. Can you please wave to me so that I make a screenshot with everyone? Thank you. Thank you. See you later.
Goodbye.
Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for your work.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.